The first college I attended actually was a technical college because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just going to school because it was something that my parents suggested. And then I eventually went to a community college. Still didn't know. I don't even know what I was taking up when I first started going to Floyd College. It was Floyd College at the time, but now it's Georgia Highlands. I went there for a while. I was just going to go because again it was something they wanted me to do. I really wasn't I didn't have the college mindset. So I was just
Okay.
like, I'll just go just to shut them up. And I started flunking out. And then I was on academic probation. So it was like I would I would fail classes, then I had to go back and retake the classes because I failed them.
Ooh.
And so it wasn't until I had a breakup that I really like the guy I was dating at the time, we broke up. And then I think after that breakup, my mindset was like, I'm gonna show him who he left. So that's when I really got in tune and I found out what I really wanted to do. And then
Okay.
that's when the whole, the sports thing kicked in. I was like, yeah, sports reporting, the sports media field, that's not a bad thing. So then, why at Georgia Highlands? Keep in mind, I had been there forever and a day because I was going like a semester flunk and then have to retake classes. Then I'd go like I was part-time, full-time, part-time, retake classes, all this. Meantime, time was passing by. It wasn't until like 2000, maybe five, I think, somewhere I think around maybe 2004, 2005, where I buckled down and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So while I was there, I was working on the school newspaper covering sports. That actually helped. And then that got me to thinking, got the ball to roll. And I was like, hey, I'm going to look around and see what else I can do outside of college that can get me a job. So I started interning for the newspaper in
Okay.
Rockmore. And then they had me like just doing random stories. It wasn't sports, just random stories. But I'm still in school at this time. So then the guy that was working in sports, he ended up quitting, and that led to my first job in my career field, being a sports writer for the Rockmore
Okay.
Journal. So that's how I landed my first job.
Okay.
Just pushing myself. I continued with Georgia Highlands, and then I just out of the blue, I got a letter from George Washington University about a semester in Washington program. So I was just like, I'll go. Let me get out of Cedartown. I'll go. I left Georgia in 2009 to go to school in DC to take on a semester program. That was like a real eye opener because I had never been out of Cedartown. Cedartown is a small place.
Right.
Never been out of Cedartown. Never been away from my family by myself. And here I was at the first time at the age of 26 in Washington, D.C. in 2009. So I ended up going to school there. I did the semester program, and it just opened my eyes to more than sports because keep in mind, the only thing I wanted to do was sports. But when I got to DC, I learned that there was more to the media field besides sports. You had the control room, you had the production side, you had reporting. It's just so much, the industry is just so broad. And so
Okay.
I was like, okay, news is not bad. I like, the news covering, all the different stories. And it's just so much to do in the field. So
Okay.
then I was like, okay, so I went on after the semester program was up. I didn't want to go back to Georgia. So my cousin, you was like, well, come to Akron and go to Kent. I finished the semester program. It started January 2009. I finished May 2009. I
Okay.
moved to Akron in, I think it was September.
Okay.
And, I started going to Kent State in 2000. I don't think it was the same year. I think I went the following year,
Okay.
2010, I believe, the fall of 2010. Honestly, I had no thought. I mean, it was just let me go and finish school because everybody
Okay.
asked me that. They was like, "What do you think of Kent State?" I was like, "I never heard of it." Actually, only other than you, it was one girl in my semester in Washington program. She was from Kent State, so
Okay.
she was the one that actually, when she said she was from Kent State, that was the first time I ever heard of the school. And then
Okay.
you mentioned it. By this time, I'm still 26, 20. I think I was 27 when I actually started at Kent State. I just wanted to go to school, get in, do what I need to do, get out. I didn't really attend any on campus
Right.
activities maybe once or twice, a couple of basketball games. But other than that, I wasn't there to like try
Socialize.
to see the see what the school's about. I just wanted to go to class and go do my work and graduate. And that was pretty much it.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't. It seemed like it just came to me. That's why I tell people all the time, if you don't want to go to school, don't give in to the pressure, because you just gonna be going just to go.
Right.
And I understand a lot of parents, they feel like you get this degree, you can do something you want to do, blah, 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 which is true. But if you're just going just to go, it's just a waste. Yeah, it's especially if you're going for somebody else, until you find out what you really want to do.
Okay.
Because it makes it even more interesting. You have more of a drive.
Right.
Versus just going when you're going for somebody else. To me, it's no drive. I didn't. I graduated in 2013 with a bachelor's in communication studies, which wasn't the major I started out in. I started out with journalism. I hung with journalism as long as I could. And then when I got to Kent State, and I was thinking, I don't know what year I thought I was going to graduate. And she was like, you got like another year. I don't know. She said a year and a half or something. She told me something which was enough to make me break down and start crying. And she was like, no, you're almost there. She was like, hanging. I was like, I'm just tired. I'm ready to be over. I was like, I just want to be done. I was like, I'm counting down. I was like, I thought I was going to graduate next semester. I thought I was graduating sometime. It must have been sometime soon. And she was like, here, look, this is what you can do. She was like, a lot of people come here, they have journalism majors, and it's just a lot to carry on. She was like, try communication studies. The load is not that much of a load. It's a versatile degree, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, okay, then I go with that. So I switched over to communication studies, which you can still use in the journalism field. Right. And it's not as hectic as the journalism major.
Okay.
So I switched over. And then as far as getting a job in my career field, like I said, I graduated in 2013, and I was still in Ohio, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it 2 years. If I haven't gotten a job up here in 2 years, I'm gonna leave. So 2015 comes. I did take that back. I did get an interview with, is it the Cleveland Plain Dealer?
Okay.
The newspaper there, and then I got an interview with, I think, Fox in New York. Okay. I think those were my only 2 interviews when I was in Ohio, but I didn't secure the jobs. And then I landed a job at CNN at that time. Actually, my job is very easy. It's an entry-level position. I'm a news assistant. So basically what I do is I'm in 2 areas. I'm either in the newsroom or I'm working in the studios. So newsrooms, all we help do is we mic up guests, we help with the scripts, anything of that nature. It's pretty basic. You can follow along in iNews, which is a program we have to see where the anchors are at, or you can just follow along looking at the TV screen. But it's pretty basic. Control room, we just control, loading the prompter and run the prompter, which, okay, some people might be like, that's all you do, that's very simple. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. If I'm not rolling the prompter, the anchor don't know what to say. So that's how that's how big my job is. And you wanna know another thing? I messed up one time real big on air, and we had to stop and go to commercial break. So that's how big my job is. So if I'm not doing my job, I make the anchor. It's a possibility I can make the anchor look bad, which causes complete chaos in the control room. And the anchor does not want to look bad on live TV because we are live. So that's how serious my job is. You have to be alert. You have to pay attention. We skip around. Like if she's interviewing somebody and they see we don't have time or we need to go to another section, they'll say, hey, we're skipping, go to 2 sections. You got to pay attention. You have the director in your ear, the assistant director. You have so many people in your ear, but you got to find out, just pay attention. So, but at the same time, I love being in my field. I love my job. I don't think there's ever been a time where I was working where I'd be like, you know what, I don't feel like going in. They went to commercial and they made a decision to change blocks because we were in the B block and I think they wanted to go to the C block. But anyway, I didn't get to the next block in time because they might have changed their mind maybe 10 to 15 seconds before we came out of break. And I didn't get to the right spot before we came back. And then when I did start switching, I was in the middle of the script in that block. After that, I didn't say anything to anybody when I left out. I just went out and went on the patio and had some lunch. I prayed, calmed down, and then I reached out to my manager was on vacation. So I reached out to the lady that was in her spot and I let her know what happened. And so she told me what to do. She was just like, contact, the producer that was on the show today, or the producer or the director that was on the show today, let them know what happened so they'll know. And so I talked to him. He gave me some tips for how to move forward, this, that, and the third. And since then, all has been well,
Okay.
It's just like a thing, but you can't just lock up in the moment and let it cause you to mess up for the rest of the day. So that's another thing. You just have to get over it, let it go. I think just knowing that I didn't give up. There comes a point in time where you just be like, I'm sitting here working with all these people that's on television every day. And then you like, they're normal people. Who's that? I think the first time I seen Hines Ward, he played for the Steelers. It's like, he's a regular person. And then you see somebody else and you're like, and he's a regular person. And then, you're subject to meet, I think, it was some actor that came, big time movie actor that came in, and you're sitting there and you're looking at him, and you're like, and he's a normal person.
Right.
So a lot of people would be like, okay, happy that they get to see like people that are on TV. You're subject to meet celebrities and stuff like that. But for me, it's just knowing that something that I set out to do,
right?
I actually obtained that goal.
And like I said, you're like one of few people that I know that actually did that. So.
No, I don't believe that because I'm almost 40, and I think I don't know if the people that see me know that, because I remember one time when I was at DC, I was 26, and so everybody thought I was younger than what I was. They were like, "You got plenty of time," and all of them was like 18, 19, 20. And even the girl, Brittman Henry, she was a reporter. She was a reporter then at the news station. And she was like, you got plenty of time. I'm thinking about, hey, girl, no, I don't. So, and she's actually like, I'm 37. Britt might be in her early 30s, or she might just be getting into mid-30s now. So she was younger than me, and she was already a reporter. And I'm like, shoot, you in a better position than I am. I'm just trying. I ain't even graduated. So I don't think age has age will put a limit on it. I think if anything, the person puts a limit on it. You put a limit on it. Okay. So it just depends on your drive, your ambition, if you're an optimistic person, and most importantly, just keeping faith. Read something positive. Most important thing. That was the most important thing for me. It was number one was I always told myself that I would never be happy until I was in my career field. Okay. And that was actually a lie, because I remember being in Cleveland and I wasn't happy. I was just like, I don't want to do this job no more. I just wasn't happy with what was going on. My happiness really didn't come until I started having a more intimate relationship with Christ. Okay. That's when I became happy. So because I started looking at it, I was like, I could have been in my career field, but I wouldn't have been happy. But until I started having a more intimate relationship with Christ, that's when the true happiness came. And so every day I could wake up and I could be happy, and stuff would happen, and then I could go back to stuff that I had read in the Bible, call out scriptures, and just be like, okay, I'm at peace, I'm good, everything gonna be all right. But I look at it now, hadn't I started having an intimate relationship with Christ, and I was in my career field, and stuff get hectic, I would know what to do just going through the whole, as they say, normal routine.
Right.
But until you get to a place where you can recall something you read and just be like, okay, it's gonna be all right. That's when the true happiness came. Reading the word, staying focused on the word, and then reading books. Like I was reading T.D. Jakes' Destiny now. It just seemed a bit repetitive in there, but it was bits and pieces that I would read, and I'd be like, okay, that helped. because there was a point when I moved back to Georgia, I was like, okay, when is it gonna happen? But then it was something I read, and it was like, if you can do this for free, your passion for free, or what you want to do for free, then that's truly what you want to do, or something he said. Then that sparked another thing. I was like, let me contact some of these newspapers and see if I can start writing, columns or whatever for free. Not for free,
Right.
as a volunteer.
Right.
And that's what I started doing when I was at Bank of America here. And then that led to, he called me one day just out of the blue. He was like, hey, I don't know if you're interested, but would you like to cover some football games? And you don't know what God can do for you if you just start, putting one foot in front of the other. Just don't get content in the process. And that's how that opened up. And I used that as on my resume, because I had been out of the field for so long. I used that as a resume builder. Right. It was just volunteer work, but I could still use it. I think it's into your circle. If your circle, I know a lot of young people, they have dreams and they want to do stuff. But if all your circle wants to do is gossip, and nobody wants to uplift you, nobody can help feed your soul spiritually, you might need to find you a new circle. I've been hanging with the same set of friends, or being involved with the same set of friends, and it's probably like 5 or 6. So, okay. And when I was going through stuff, they could help motivate me, whether it be spiritually. They might say, hey, God got this, or they point out some verses, this, that, and the other, but they would help keep me motivated. We do the gospel and whatever, but at the end of the day, if all they want to do is gossip, then you might need to find you some more friends that can help keep you motivated and help spiritually feed you, and help you when you don't know what you want to do. Help you try to weed out what it is that you desire to do. I think it is. I mean, because toxic people, to me, attract other toxic people. If your spirit can't rub off on their spirit, and you sense that more of their toxic spirit is rubbing off on your spirit than you, it's best that you remove yourself.
Thank you, Steph, so much for your time. I love you. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the woman you've become.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm still pushing and still trying to get to the top, but this is a start. I don't see it as the beginning. I don't see it as I don't see this stepping stone as the ending stone. So I still got more to do, but I thank you, and I appreciate you for opening up your home to me when I was in Akron, because I remember moving up there. And, I didn't have the funds to get a perm. You remember this? And you was gonna take me to the health store. My account was overdrawn. And I was crying. And he was like, what is it? I was like, my account is overdrawn. And all I wanted to do was get a box perm. And I was like, I don't know how it happened. I was like, my account is overdrawn, and I just wanted to get a box perm. And I wasn't even used to getting box perms. And he was like, that's okay, I'll give you some money. I was like, no, because I don't know, I have no money. Yeah, I be looking back at a whole lot of stuff, and I be like, Lord, I thank you for the people that you placed in my life along the way. You and staying with my cousin Rafis when I was in DC, and most of all, my parents have been truly supportive. But it's been a journey. Like I said, it's not the end. It's just the beginning of a new journey. So we'll see what else is in store.